Good morning, everybody. John Della Rose, the leading Hispanic voice in science fiction, author of For Steam and Country, contributor to The Federalist. What's going on here? Alright, trying to make my coffee this morning so we can chat about this stuff. If you don't know what's going on in the gamer world, and I'm talking at this point, it's kind of a little esoteric thing. It's more of a, it's card gaming, not video game. Well, it's kind of video gaming. But the larger video game population probably floats right past this. This is a smaller community. It's bigger than you think it is. But it's still not, it's not the level of video games and all that. So I was just scrolling the internet yesterday, and I saw that Magic the Gathering, which is Hasbro, is the corporation that owns Magic the Gathering. Hasbro banned a guy who was like, I mean, he's a prominent YouTube streamer. He goes to their Magic card events and like live streams it and gets 140,000 viewers. I mean, big time guy within this community. Well, they banned him from everything in their events. And on top of that, here's the part where it gets to the digital content. I guess Magic's got a online game which is called Magic the Gathering Online, and it's just literally the card game in video game form but online, and it works the exact same way. It's like you are buying packs of cards to play in tournaments. You pay money for the tournament. I mean, it's just like going into the shop and buying cards and getting stuff, except for you don't get stuff. It all ends up in your little account on your computer, right? So this guy, I guess, has paid tens of thousands of dollars into this account over the years, and he even had hundreds of dollars in his account of what's called tickets, which tickets let you into events. He had hundreds of thousands of dollars of these. Or hundreds of dollars of these, and they just wiped it away. So what happened was they went to his social media account, saw that he was posting Pepe memes and things like that, and said, "We don't want you as a person in our events, so we're going to ban you from our events." But they didn't stop there. They went to his account for the game online, which he pays money for regularly, like good hard money, and just wiped it all away without any consideration, said there's no appeal for it. And the problem that we have here is that he has no recourse, like zero recourse. The way the content laws work and the way that all of these, and this goes for downloadable content for games, this goes for your iTunes account. I mean, this goes for your Amazon account. So you people with your ebooks, if Amazon decides they don't like you, Amazon can right now go and take all of your ebooks away from your library, all of them, and you don't own a single one of them. The way they frame these in their user agreements, which you check, the little crap that you check before you start these accounts or whatnot, is that you don't pay for the content. You do not own the content. You own access to the content. Okay. And the way it's framed is that the access can be taken away from any reason deemed by the company. So all of these companies can go on and steal your property, which you paid for, all of your books, all of your music, all of your anything, because they don't like you. And that's what it comes down to. So that's what we have right now. We have woefully inadequate laws for the times. And 2018 is going to just ramp this up big time. And the thing is, like, what are you going to do about it? It's not like you can, as an ebook reader, can go fight Amazon for the $30 of ebooks or hundreds of dollars, whatever it is you own. It's not like you're going to go out there and be able to take on their corporate lawyers. It's not like you can take on Google for your music or Apple for your music. It's not like this guy can take on a company like Hasbro. I mean, you're just stuck. As a consumer, we are stuck, and there's nothing we can do about it. And these laws need to change. Something needs to change about this, because this is just absurd. I mean, I get not wanting the guy to be at their events or whatnot. That's a little more reasonable. I mean, unfortunately, it is his livelihood. his YouTube streaming channel is dedicated towards their product and has been promoting their product for years. I mean, it's dirty on their part because they're saying, we don't want your types, so we're going to protect the whatever in this instance. But when it comes to the online content, I mean, just using an excuse to, first off, let's take a step back from all this. How creepy is it that a company like Hasbro went through some guy's social media and just went through his social media and said, okay, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, we don't approve of this, you're out. I mean, it's not like it's his company he's working for. This is his hobby, his fun time. It's a game company, and the game company went through and stalked him basically to find content that he produced that they didn't approve of, to say, no, you're not allowed to play my games. This is unbelievable. Yes, there is a huge risk in coupling your livelihood to a brand, which is why I don't couple my livelihood to a brand. What I discovered early on through this, that you pretty much have to create your own content, create your own brands, create your own things, and that way nobody can hold anything over you. If somebody bans me from Periscope, I'll just start broadcasting on YouTube. If somebody bans me from that, I'll just start broadcasting on Facebook Live. People will find me, and it'll work, and it'll be fine. And I own all my content, and I talk about whatever I want to talk about. I don't just stick to one thing. Now, but the thing is, a lot of people do this. There's a lot of people online, like, if you look at like Douglas Ernst, he's a comic YouTube reviewer. He mostly just reviews Spider-Man. I mean, he is attached to Spider-Man on that front. So I mean, Marvel Comics could petition YouTube and say, this guy's evil, he's saying bad things about Spider-Man comics because they suck. And Douglas Ernst can lose his entire deal there. I mean, fortunately, he's a good writer who does professional writing in other capacity. But his main channel for his main hobby that he spends all of his time on is just on this one subject. And a lot of people do that. And the reason people do that is because if you're a Spider-Man fan, you know where to go on the YouTube content to find the Spider-Man review. It's Douglas Ernst. Like this guy, it's like you'll go to his thing because you care about Magic the Gathering and not him. But the problem with this, the problem actually goes a little deeper than what Edwin just said. Because, yeah, the company has a lot of power over you at that point, right? But the real problem that you create in a brand for yourself by doing that is you don't create a brand for yourself. People care less about you as an individual than they do about their hobby product, right? So you're attaching to this, the minute that you are not attached to this, your fan base actually dumps you, and that's the end problem with that. I find this as as I get older, I see this kind of as this works. This is similar in friendships also. So I've been a gamer over the years. I played a lot of video games. I played a lot of World of Warcraft 10 years ago, and the World of Warcraft guild, we would fly out to see each other, hang out, be friends, talk every day. The minute I stopped playing World of Warcraft, it took like 5 days for none of them ever talk to me again, right? And it's because when you attach things to a certain hobby, a certain material or whatever thing you call it, that sort of thing is very transient, and the people are focused on that who are in that sort of realm, and they're not focused on you as a person. So be careful. Just be careful about creating friends in that sort of capacity because they don't end up friends for very long. Two, fans in that capacity, they'll be even more fleeting than friends because they really don't even have that personal attachment to you. So that they're on just like the basic human level, there's a reason not to do that sort of thing. But that said, our content online is very, very, very much dedicated towards exactly that. I look at comic review. I think a lot of people are posting saying comic reviewers are just why are they always reviewing Marvel, like if it's so bad? Why is Diversity in Comics always reading a Marvel book when they're so bad? Why is he buying those? That's actually bad. Well, do you think if Diversity in Comics did not post a Marvel book for him to trash, that you would click on his site just to read him talk about Dark Ark, the indie comic by Cullen Bunn? You'd get some clicks, but he's not going to get the clicks like he has because his clicks are entirely predicated off of trashing Marvel Comics. So that's the thing for the independent artist, reviewer, whatever you want to do, independent person even. All these things are predicated on the corporations allowing you to do it because you have signed access agreements by clicking to say that you are agreeing to their terms of service and they're providing access. You are only in ownership of the access. They're in ownership of everything else. And you sign your life away. And it's not right. I mean, people nobody reads those. Not a single person has ever read one of those stupid TOS agreements. I mean, and if they do, they post a blog about it and complain, but we do it anyway because, like, what are we going to do? Not go on Amazon and buy ebooks? What are we going to do? Not go on Spotify to listen to music? I mean, we have no recourse as a consumer. We have no options as a consumer. Hey, buddy. We have no options at all because these are, at this point, such large corporations that they are monopolies, and especially when it comes to something like YouTube or whatnot. I mean, we see that it costs a lot of money. I mean, YouTube is a loss leader for Google. Google likes to control the content, and YouTube, costs a lot of money. I mean, we just saw VidMe go down because they tried to just compete, and they found out, storage space is really expensive for this sort of thing. We can't do it. Bottom line, no one can compete there. So these corporations are not something that's just in a regular market, and are not something that's just in a that anybody can compete. And it's the people who want to talk about the free market sort of angle of it are kind of being disingenuous here, as it's not possible. And it's also disingenuous because look into all the perks and subsidies that Google gets as a company from the federal government that allows them to do this. It's so big. There's no way you as a person is going to be able to start something to compete with that. So we're stuck. We are stuck with these content delivery services. If we want books, if we want music, if we want games, we are stuck with these companies, and there's very little we can do about it. And people say, well, these are just entertainment. It's just entertainment. This is culture controlled. They're not only controlling what kind of content gets created and gets spread out to the masses, which controls how people perceive the world. They also control what kind of people will even be allowed to be able to consume them. It's a real slavery issue where they are intentionally ostracizing small portions of our society, and that should not be allowed in modern society. It's not right. So I don't know what to do about it. Congress has to take a look at this, in my opinion, and actually protect consumers in terms of digital content. It's a real crying shame this guy lost so much money worth of his Magic cards, and I don't think he has any recourse for it. But I'll be writing up a lot more about this over the next week or so as I kind of research more into this and think about it a little more. This is a big topic, and I think we need to saber rattle a little bit about it. As for me, I have digital content coming out today. It's going to be my first Patreon short story. Right now, Patreon is not demonetizing me for videos like this. We'll see how that goes. If there's ever a problem there, I'm going to be putting up a alt tech quick fund, because that's a spot where I can actually do something about it, which will be a competitor basically to Patreon and Kickstarter. It's not up yet; they're still working on it on their software side. But so I'm not going to have problems there. For now, I'm going to have my content, and I'm going to produce it in a Word doc. I'm going to see if I can make a Kindle file. It's going to be my first attempt to do that. We'll see how it goes. But it'll be content you can own, and you just pay for my subscription, and you can download it and own the content, and I will not take it away from you. So, so please do. I have a great story coming out today. I really think it's a lot of fun. It's kind of X-Files, Dresden Files sort of short story. I wanted to play in that realm, and I think it's too soon for me to start playing in different genres for books. But short stories allow me to kind of experiment a little bit. So check that out, and thank you for tuning in. Spread the word about Hasbro and what's going on. There's a lot of stuff. If you just kind of Google or Twitter boycott Magic or something about Magic the Gathering, you'll find it, and you'll be able to plug in there. So that's our fight for the weekend, and like I said, I'll have a lot more on this next week. Thanks for tuning in, guys.